done this, as you say, a lot of this exploration, there's an awful lot we can find out through blood tests. So it's amazing how you can get your baseline health through some pretty basic blood tests that are available through your GP. And then there's a whole other level where you go into different biomarkers. And I think that, for me, has been interesting. It's like you can tweak yourself looking at some of these
So
markers.
what did you learn?
So, for example, I was at a private clinic. It's a clinic for the elite, which is all about prevention. And they took about 40 different blood samples. And one of the things that they discovered is that my omega-3s and my omega-6s were out of balance, which is very common in today's diet. I was surprised because I'm quite on my nutrition and I eat my omega-3 fishes and all the rest of it. But
omega-6 I'm less familiar with.
So omega-6s it's basically there's a balance between the two. And we used to eat many, many more omega-3s and very few omega-6s. And now with the advent of ultra-processed food, that level has switched. So ideally you want more omega-3s in your diet. And I fixed that after a blood test by more supplementation and by focusing on omega-rich foods, which include sardines and mackerel and that kind of thing. So
it's really interesting to hack yourself healthy. It's not a preachy book about, because everyone's sick of those.
Yeah.
They are. And you actually, at the end, you say you thank your parents, right?
Yeah.
Chrissy and Michael, both in their late 80s, and they don't biohack. But some of the things that you say are biohacks, for me, are just like fun things, like kitchen disco. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't love a kitchen disco? But you've actually looked into kind of why it works. Dancing, for example.
And there's a doctor on Instagram called The Dancing Doctor, and she's really deep dived into why it works. And it's psychological, and it's emotional, and it's to do with releasing stress, and it's to do with reaching all the cells of your body, and it genuinely does work. So it is one of those great things, stress relief, and music is profoundly important for us.
Well, it goes back to the bird song as well, doesn't it?
And a massive impact on our brain.
I'm not going to do an ice plunge.
You're not going to do it? Not never?
Never. Never, ever, ever.
Can I? What if? But you're an adventurous lady. What if I say, come with me to Antarctica, let's explore how the receding ice and planetary health is affecting human health, and let's do a polar plunge together. 0 degrees. Honestly, when I came up from this, for about 2 or 3 hours afterwards, I have never felt more alive in my life. It was utterly breathtaking.
We should do that. We should go to the Antarctic, absolutely go exploring and look at all of that. You do the plunge.
OK,
and
fine,
I'll watch.
How about I get you to do a little cold shower? Like 3 times a week, just switch that tap to cold, massively beneficial, creates something called brown fat, also puts you into a state of hermetic stress, which is good because over time it builds your resilience and boosts your immune system. Just a little cold shower and I go...
Well, look, if we scale it back down a little bit to something people could do at home, as they say now, standing on one leg, for example, is quite a well-known sort of test for
Michael Mosley, stand on one leg while you're brushing your teeth.
It's a test for quite a lot of things, isn't it?
Yes. So there are several markers of longevity. Grip strength is one. So when I say grip strength, it's really to do with how long you can hold weights. It's not to do with whether you've got those silly little things. Those caliper things don't really do much. So you can do something called a farmer's lift. Can you hold 75% of your own body weight divided across 2 halves? Can you hold that? For a woman, it's a minute. For a man, it's 2 minutes.
How would you test that?
You get kettlebells. So for me, I have 2 20 kg kettlebells.
Or dumbbells.
Or dumbbells. And you just hold them and see if you can do it for a minute. And you'll be surprised. When you look at yourself in the mirror, everything is like pulsating. And, you're working your shoulders, you're working your back, you're working this whole region. That's a longevity test. Your VO2 max, which is how well you are handling oxygen when you're exercising, that's a sign of longevity. I'm delighted to say that I did that test and I was in the 99th percentile on that one.
As in a good way?
In a good way,
yes.
So that was good. And balance is also very, very important. So can you stand on one leg with your eyes closed for longer than 8 seconds?
Can you?
That's a good one. I can, but I'm a bit wibbly-wobbly.
After practice or first time?
It depends on the day. And what I've learned through the yoga and through my exploration of Ayurvedic medicine in India, where I went in the foothills of the Himalayas to this incredible place called Ananda, is that your balance is very linked to your mental stability, and actually when I meditate, my balance is much better afterwards because you are just in a better state. So your mental state is a part of your physical balance state as well.
I've heard that walking backwards is really good for you, and you talk about it. Where do you walk backwards?
I walk backwards in the park. So I do my daily walk in the park, and then I switch. And for 20% of the time, I think you've got footage of me here doing it on holiday. There we go. That's along the beach, and you can see I've gathered a bit of speed up now. I've got to grips with backward walking. It's a great conversation starter. Social connections are very important. Even those weak links, they're called. When you meet somebody in the park, when you have your coffee and you say hi, how are you? Those are really important.
I'd just be worried about walking into someone.
But the point with backwards walking is great for the knees, great for the hip flexors. Some people swear that it gets rid of their back pain. But the other thing is, well, it develops your cognitive ability because you develop an intuition. And actually, you get much better at it. And you don't walk into people because you just learn not to.
Unlikely as it sounds, Spike Milligan was way ahead of you, wasn't he? Because he sang that song, I'm Walking Backwards for Christmas.
Yeah. I need to actually cut a reel.
Was he an early advocate, do you think, of extreme healthy living?
I don't know if he was an advocate of extreme, but he laughed and he was definitely very social. So I think he had a lot of... And those are some of the easiest hacks. I mean, I think some of the great takeaway hacks in the book are drinking olive oil, walking backwards, getting morning daylight, working on your sleep, cutting back on sugar and alcohol.
Gargling.
Good for stress.
It's an old-fashioned thing almost. It's like we always used to gargle when we were younger.
Gargling, but not with mouthwash.
No, we used to do it with salt and water.
Yeah, so mouthwash and the oral microbiome is a very interesting new area of research and study. And now we've had the gut microbiome moment, and now we're onto the oral microbiome moment. And another great hack, floss your teeth every day, because a bad oral microbiome, higher risk of stroke, cardiovascular disease, and linked now to Alzheimer's, according to the experts. Great
Very
tea.
good. Very good yours are as well.
Yeah. Do you floss?
Yes.
Try not to use a plastic floss either as well. Microplastics are not great for us, apparently.
Julia, thank you. Julia's book, Hack Yourself Healthy, is out today.
I'll just get my